off this countdown, we have the infamous Bigfoot. This footage of Bigfoot is the one that started this whole Bigfoot craze. If you Google images of Bigfoot, this is surely the one to pop up. So back in 1967, two men were creating a short film in Northern California when they ended up capturing footage of Bigfoot. In the footage, we see him walk by a wooded area. Over the years, a number of people have attempted to debunk this footage, but none have been successful. Is it possible for it to be someone in a gorilla suit? Well, at the time this footage came out, the movie Beneath the Planet of the Apes also came out. If you look at the ape costumes used in that movie and compare it to the Bigfoot video, Bigfoot looks more realistic. People claim you can actually see the creature's muscles and such. How could someone make a costume way above its time? It's not possible. Meaning, this could be evidence of a real Bigfoot.
Coming into number 9, we have the Texan Experience. Danny Ferrero was driving in Texas in July 2018 when he saw something beautiful in the sky. He stopped to take a picture of his view down Highway 105 and then shared the image of the sun setting in the clouds on Facebook. The beams of light through the clouds very much looked like an angel spreading their wings, and the good people of Facebook thought so too. The image was shared on the social media platform 12,000 times. Ferrero said that the sighting came at the right time. He'd been having some family issues. He said, "God can speak to us in many different ways, and for that I'm thankful." Coming into number 8, we have angels in Mecca. A YouTube video was uploaded to the video sharing site in August 2010. Now, it was said to have been shot in Mecca in 2008. Mecca, of course, is a holy desert valley in Saudi Arabia, sacred to those of the Islamic faith. So this video is pretty blurry, but such was life in 2008. I have to admit, something strange is happening here. Perhaps it's an angel visiting one of the holiest spots on earth, or maybe it's a lens flare. You decide. Coming into number 7, we have Dark Angel or Dementor. Some people in Kitwe in Zambia were convinced that they had seen a dark angel, or an angel of death perhaps, looking over the Mkuba Mall. The dark humanoid figure appeared in the clouds with seemingly no explanation. The apparition was 100 meters long and very much looked like a Harry Potter Dementor. Dementors, of course, administer kisses of death and suck out souls, so not great. People had mixed reactions to the figure in the clouds. Some people thought it was an angel of some kind or some kind of embodiment of God, so they started worshipping it. Others were terrified and they ran away in fear. Apparently the mystery cloud hung around for around half an hour and then it disappeared. How strange. Coming into number 6, we have a guardian angel. A lot of people talk about guardian angels, benevolent forces that watch over them and protect them from harm. This is a lovely idea, but is there any proof that such a thing exists? Well, this CCTV footage from a road in China seems to offer a shred of proof. A guy on a motorbike is about to be obliterated by an oncoming truck when his guardian angel flies in at super speed and rescues him right in the nick of time. Now this does leave him very confused. He's baffled, but he's alive. So have a look at this footage and let me know what you think for yourself. The video was uploaded in September 2012 and has been watched over 11 million times. Is this proof of a higher force? Well, it turns out that actually this is a hoax. It's a viral marketing campaign for a Chinese game called Dragon Totem Girl. Makes me kinda sad. Speaking of guardian angels, it seems one showed up at a hospital at number 5. I found this image alongside the story of Chelsea Banton. Chelsea was 14 when she nearly died of pneumonia. Now her illness had reached the point where doctors recommended switching off her life support. Her mother made the unthinkable decision to follow the doctor's advice. Now it was thought that Chelsea would quickly die, but she survived the night and then began to make a miraculous recovery. One of the nurses had reported a man standing by Chelsea's door, and when her mother seemed totally baffled by it, they watched over the CCTV footage. This is what they saw. Whether or not it's just a patch of light from a particularly sunny window, or whether what you're seeing is actually the figure of an angel, one thing's for sure, what happened to Chelsea was an absolute miracle. Coming into number 4, we have this Stairway to Heaven. In July 2018, footage from Tuscaloosa, Alabama was uploaded to the internet. The video was shot on a stormy day and the camera captures the dark clouds, only there's something going on in those clouds. If you look closely, you can see what looks like two two people walking through them. Now they don't appear to have wings, but could these be angels anyway? It seems that the footage was shot as part of a live stream and only later were the figures spotted. On YouTube, the miraculous video has been viewed 2.2 million times. Now Alabama is a pretty religious place and it seemed to have many people locally as well as further spread across the world totally convinced of heavenly activity. There's something similar happening in Ghana at number 3. A Ghanaian news channel reported on a strange sighting in Danzaman, Ghana. The news presenter shares the video in a segment called An Encounter with the Dead. Whatever is in the clouds looks a lot more like it has wings than the figures in the Alabama clouds, so maybe it is an angel. But also, maybe angels can choose to have wings when they want, and maybe sometimes vampires can't go into the sun, but then maybe sometimes they glitter like Edward Cullen. See what I'm saying? Coming in at number 2, we have fairies or tiny angels. Anyone watching who's roughly my age or a few years older from the UK, do you remember Goldie looking Jane? Because I certainly do. I really enjoyed them as a teen, and you know what, who doesn't love a bit of Welsh rap at the best of times? You might be wondering what they're up to now. Well, let me tell you, spotting fairies in the garden. That's what. So John Rutledge, a member of Goldie Looking Chain, was out having a lovely walk with his dog in Newbridge, Wales, when he decided to take some snaps of the beautiful sunny summer's day. Now, if the sun is shining in the UK, especially Wales, you are going to want to capture that on camera. It turns out that John got more than he bargained for when he looked at his film. While he surveyed his pictures after his walk, he realised that he had actually captured what looked like 7 tiny winged humanoids. Now, are these little angels or are they fairies? Or are fairies just tiny angels anyway? The pop star said that ever since childhood he wanted to witness a paranormal event. He said, "The last thing I expected was a winged entity in a wood in South Wales, but there it is, smack bang in your face. It's solid evidence." Imagine him saying that in his Welsh accent. Solid. On closer inspection, the picture is seemingly legit. It does look like tiny winged people. Finally, coming into number 1, this honestly did have me convinced. We have the Russian landing. In 2016, on a live news broadcast in Russia, a bright light interrupted the host. Now, I don't know what she's saying, but maybe our Russian audience will know. The presenter seems totally shocked. Her reaction seems pretty genuine. What else could this be? We don't see wings or anything, it's just a ball of light, but it's really strange, and again, her reaction speaks volumes. Was this an actual angel caught on camera?
Starting us off at number 10 is the Globster. So back in May of last year, a creature dubbed the Globster washed up on a beach in the Philippines. Now in the video of the creature, it seems to be a 6-meter long thing covered in whitish greyish hair. Honestly, even in pictures of the Globster, I can't identify where the head of this thing is and where the back is. It's just the same, I just don't know. It's just a giant hairy carcass that people speculated was an undiscovered monster from the deepest parts of the ocean. Many locals were worried by the creature, saying the arrival of something so unusual can only be a bad sign and that an earthquake may be on the way. Some even reached further and said it was a really old whale carcass, but I've seen many whale carcasses online and they never have fur or hair on them, and that much of it, no matter what stage of decay I've seen them in, but I'm no expert so I could totally be wrong. Either way, the Globster remains a complete mystery.
Coming in at number 9, we have Provo Canyon Bigfoot. In October of 2012, a group of siblings were hiking in Provo Canyon when they spotted something in the woods and began filming it. Earlier on their hike, they saw some deer and wanted to get a closer look at them, so they headed up in the direction of the deer. That's when they spotted this creature. At first they thought it was a bear, but were horrified when the creature stood up on its 2 legs. They got frightened and ran out of the area. To this day, they don't know exactly what it is that they saw, but they managed to capture it on tape.
Yeah, we probably should be too close to it, huh? How cool though. Let's go.
Moving on at number 8, we have Albany National Forest. In 2007, hunter Rick Jacobs decided to mount a wildlife camera to a tree in Albany National Forest, Pennsylvania. The camera worked on a motion sensor and would take photos when triggered. He had hopes of capturing photos of bears, deers, and other wildlife. Little did he know that he was about to capture evidence of Bigfoot. So on September 16th, 2007, upon reviewing the photos on the camera, he discovered a creepy picture of what appears to be Bigfoot. However, skeptics believe that it's an image of a sick bear. But the way that it's hunched over with its back leg extended makes it look like Bigfoot. In our 7th spot, we have Marble Mountain Bigfoot. If you are a Bigfoot enthusiast, then this is another well-known sighting to you. In June of 2001, a group of teens and a leader, part of a youth group called Campus Life, were camping at Marble Mountain. The group ended up finding a weird den made out of twigs and large branches. Then shortly after, the leader, Jim Mills, noticed a weird-looking creature moving nearby. He filmed it for 7 minutes. To this day, this is the longest video footage of an alleged Bigfoot sighting. Experts have analyzed the footage and have agreed that it's not a human, and that the creature is 9 feet tall. When the Bigfoot noticed the group of people watching it, it began jumping up and down, screaming, and then it pushes a tree. It was just probably trying to scare off the onlookers. Making our way down the list at number 6, we have Lake James Bigfoot. Back in late 2019, a man named John Bruner and 3 other men went on a boat late at night scouting an area on Lake James. Apparently that night fishermen had seen something watching them from the shore, so these folks went out to investigate. That's when they started to hear weird noises coming from the cove. They turned off the boat's motor and used their night vision cameras to scope out the area. That's when they saw Bigfoot and got 121 pictures of it. The creature was estimated to be around 7.5 feet tall. At one point they claimed that the creature was just standing, swaying back and forth while watching them. After 5 minutes, the creature walked away. But again, like all photos of Bigfoot, these photos are terribly blurry. All 121 of them. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with webcam Bigfoot. Bigfoot just keeps blowing its cover. Now it seems like he doesn't care if he gets caught. Also, let me say that Washington State is notorious for Bigfoot sightings. There have been tons of sightings over the years, so Bigfoot must have a home somewhere around there. Anyways, this time Bigfoot was caught on the Department of Transportation's webcam. The webcam was located on Sherman Pass on State Route 20. It caught Bigfoot crossing a mountain pass. Then you see it lurking behind some trees by the road. Whatever it is, it looks massive and hairy, just like Bigfoot. In our 4th spot, we have the Russian Bigfoot. Bigfoot is said to mainly live in Canada and in areas of the US, but this video may prove that Russia is also home to Bigfoots. So this footage was shot back in 2016 and features Bigfoot chasing a car. In this video you can see a black blob appear in the distance, only to then start coming closer and closer to the car filming it. I mean, the creature moves pretty fast since it manages to catch up with the car, which keeps driving away from the creature and then stopping to get more footage of it. At one point in the video, the girls are yelling to close the window and can be heard saying, "He's coming, he's running." Apparently, the creature actually jumped onto the car and broke the glass, but obviously they were not recording when that happened. So yeah. Apparently Bigfoot in Russia are super aggressive. Also, is the plural of Bigfoot big feet or Bigfoots? I don't know. Big feet. In our 3rd spot, we have the Curious Children. In January of 2013, 3 Russian children were out playing in the snow when they stumbled upon Bigfoot. This case was actually featured on an episode of National Geographic. So the kids were out following a pair of footprints to the edge of a frozen lake. Along the way, they are laughing and joking around. That's when they see a tall, dark, hairy figure in the distance. When the creature spots them, it turns and runs away super fast. The kids get scared and run away as well. They described to National Geographic that the creature was tall and covered in hair, except it had no hair on its face. The children and their parents all believe that they spotted a real-life Bigfoot. Coming in at number 2, we have the game camera, another Bigfoot sighting in Washington State. In attempts to catch a supposed Bigfoot that had been lurking around the area, they set up a game camera hidden in a fake rock. They did this as a way to trick Bigfoot. The camera and rock were set up in a man's yard, who claimed he saw Bigfoot lurking there 9 months earlier. Well, they did capture something alright. If you look at the photo, it just kinda looks like a blurry mess, not gonna lie. But they believe that it shows an eye with wrinkles above it, part of a nose bridge, part of another eye, and a forehead. In fact, this image matches the eyewitness drawing of the creature. The photo from the game camera was placed on top of the drawing, and it lined up almost perfectly. Pretty creepy if you ask me. And in our number 1 spot, we have 911 Bigfoot. This next sighting is so creepy. A man calls 911 saying that a tall dark figure is in his yard. In fact, the full actual call is online available to be listened to. So the call occurred in Washington State, aka Bigfoot Central, back in 1996. The man on the phone tells the operator that someone or something is crawling in his yard. He says that his sensor light came on and he saw something run across the yard. When the operator asks him to describe it, he says that it's a good-sized man or something that looks like a man. Then he says that the creature is about 6'8" and is really big. He also tells her that the night before his dog was killed in his yard. Then out of nowhere he starts panicking, telling the operator to send someone immediately. A week later, the sheriff's office got a picture of what seems to be Bigfoot lurking in his neighbor's yard.
911, what are you reporting? With someone or something crawling around out here. Do you see what person or an animal or? I can't tell. All I know is my sensor light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard.
Coming in at number 10, we have Truck On. In May 2018, a fire chief in East Jordan claimed that a security camera took this image of an angel flying over his truck. Glenn Thorman said that CCTV caught an angel flying over his vehicle and then disappeared out of frame. He said, "That's an angel," and I was just blown away. The Jordan River's Facebook page shared the image and said, "These photos have not been altered in any way." The second photo, the security camera also shot because the angel was moving away. The camera is designed to photograph anything in motion or unusual. Lots of tears today when they opened the security on their camera. Wow. Some skeptics are saying it's a moth nearer to the camera and that the picture lacks depth perception, but others are straight up convinced it's an angel.
Coming in at number 9 is Dobby. Now I know this footage has been everywhere since it went viral in the last 2 weeks or so, but I too had to add to the hype and mention it as well. So a video was posted onto Facebook by a woman named Vivian Gomez, and the footage is basically from her security camera outside her home, which she says she has not altered in any way, shape or form. The video was taken during the night, and in it you see a tiny scrawny white figure with big floppy ears and wobbly legs walking through her driveway, and mid-video it sort of does the chicken dance with its arms. It just kind of looks like this. Is very strange. And yes, I think we've all pretty much agreed unanimously the thing looks exactly like a house elf from Harry Potter, and if that was in fact Dobby being a free elf, then I fully support whatever it was he was doing. But that also makes me really sad, because if house elves are just roaming about, then I'm clearly just a bloody muggle, and that just sucks. At number 8 we have the Montauk Monster, and that's not even a clickbaity title I made up, that's actually what the news ended up calling it. So back in July of 2008 in New York, a creature was found washed up on the beach, and it freaked the hell out of everyone because no one had any idea what it actually was. Looking at it, honestly, it was this hairless creature whose skin sort of resembled baked chicken to me. The mouth was also strange, the upper lip was kind of shaped like a beak, and it had solid teeth. It also has a tail, so there's that, but it seriously just doesn't look like an animal you would recognize. The Independent newspaper speculated the creature was some mutant experiment that might have escaped from the Plum Island Disease Center nearby. Others took a jab at guessing what it was too, with things like a raccoon, but the proportions just weren't right. A sea turtle, but it had no shell, and turtle shells are fused with the spine, so that wasn't possible either. And people even guessed it was a dog of some kind, but the feet don't match a dog's. So we still don't really know what the Montauk Monster monster is, and the best guess we have from a paleozoologist is that it's a raccoon with its upper jaw missing. Either way, the carcass was taken somewhere undisclosed by a random guy, so we don't even know where it is anymore. Filling our number 7 slot is the pseudo Loch Ness monster. I feel like some kind of Loch Ness-esque monster always ends up on lists like this, but anyway, in March of last year, Jeff Warren and his son found what they thought was the Loch Ness monster. They were walking along the beach at Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuge in Georgia when they happened upon the creature. Honestly, I mean to give them credit, the creature does look exactly how the Loch Ness monster has been depicted in the past. You know, long neck and tail, the 2 arm fins, and the sort of fatter body. Except the creature in the video is a lot smaller than you'd expect the Scottish Loch Ness monster to be. Like, if that one is daddy, this one is like a mini junior in comparison. I don't know what that analogy was or how I made that comparison, but I'm sure you guys get it. The creature also had a bit of its internal organs spilling out of its abdomen area, so not in the best shape, I'm not gonna lie. Marine scientists speculated it was a deep sea shark, but there appeared to be no gill slit, so that was ruled out as well. Now at number 6 is Slenderman. Terrifying game, by the way, when you're playing it in high school like I was. Why do we just get pulled towards scary things? It's literally just gonna be the end of me, I swear. I'm gonna be the end of me by just wanting scary things. Anyway, either way, back in Jan of 2017, Redditor JHood3119 said his friend who lived in upstate New York installed a security camera at his house. A few nights later, his dog had been barking all night the night before for no reason, and he just wanted to, you know, make sure everything was all good, so he went through the footage. In front of his house in the footage, you can see a very tall, very skinny creature with glowing yellow eyes hurrying on 2 legs across the snow and then disappearing into thin air. Like, the camera was still panned onto the area, but it just full on disappeared. The dog is even in the camera footage, and you can see it turning its head and following this creature's trajectory before it disappears. The dude's neighbor is even out searching his yard with a flashlight, but they don't see the creature either. Which, I mean, I get because it disappears within seconds, but still, that's crazy. Coming in at number 5 is the ET jellyfish. So Submarine actually got this creature on tape 4,000 feet below the surface, and I kid you not, all I can say is it looks like a very high-tech black jellyfish. And now on the dome part of its body, it has a bunch of stripes coming down it that light up multicolored and kind of ebb and flow with how the creature moves. The bottom part of it looks like a black cloth, but the weirdest part was it looked like it was actually doing tricks for the submarine camera and trying to impress it almost. Which, I mean, I totally understand, we all have to seize our 15 seconds of fame wisely, so you do you, boo. But people have speculated this creature looks so high-tech it could be extraterrestrial. What do you guys think? At number 4 is the spaghetti monster. Sounds like a very cute children's cookbook or something, but it's really not. It never is. Now this one requires a bit of backstory. Back in 2005, a physics graduate called Bobby Henderson actually started a church called the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. He did that to protest the idea of intelligent design, which is basically a theory that says you can explain the creation of life through smart arguments rather than actual natural occurrences. So he disagrees with that statement. But funnily enough, this fictitious parody spaghetti monster was found in real life living 4,000 feet deep in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Angola. A remote control device took the footage of the creature, which looks whitish or yellowish in color and just has a bunch of tentacles coming out of it, all of different lengths and thicknesses. The body of it looked like what our small intestines would look like if they were an animal, if you can imagine that. And experts who saw the footage said it could be a jellyfish of sorts, but I don't remember the last time jellyfish looked like that. Filling our number 3 slot is the horned sea devil. Now back in August of 2013, a seemingly never before seen horned sea devil was found on the beach of Villaricos in Spain. I don't even know how to begin to describe this creature to you. It looks like a long white Chinese dragon from the sea. The head of the creature had 2 yellow horns coming out, and its body was around 4 meters long, ending in a sort of serpent looking tail, but a bit larger. Samples were taken from the carcass to be tested by members of the Marine Fauna Protection Society, but even they had no idea what it could possibly be. Like, even the freaking experts don't know what it is, so what am I meant to tell you at this point? Some even speculated it was an oarfish, others said it was a sea dragon or water dinosaur of kinds. Everything inconclusive. Don't ask me about it, I don't know. Now at number 2 is the melting landmass, and honestly I titled this creature that because that's literally exactly what it looks like. Back in 2017, a gigantic floating carcass was found on the shore of the island of Seram in Indonesia. The fisherman who discovered the creature said it was so big he initially thought he had found a boat stranded in shallow water. When he got closer he figured it was a 50-foot long dead creature that he couldn't pinpoint. The creature was different colors, parts were white, some were brown, others were moldy yellow, and it honestly looked like the flesh of this creature was just melting off its body. To make matters worse, blood was also leaking from the animal and making most of the coastline bright red, but that didn't stop the locals from getting in there to figure out what the hell it was. Now the chief scientist at the Ocean Conservancy said it was most likely a baleen whale and that the decomposing gases inside the whale caused it to blow into an unwhale-like shape. Usually when whales die they sink to the bottom of the ocean, but it was concluded that this one must have died with a bacterial infection that made it produce more gas, or it died in warm water which allowed more bacteria to gather than normal. Why do I sound like a scientist or a doctor in all my videos? I'm not qualified to speak like this. Either way, this thing looks like the furthest thing from a whale, so this is just false advertisement. And finally at number 1 is Untitled. Honestly I really didn't know what to call this one, so I decided to just keep it mysterious. This creature was seen in footage taken by 2 boys exploring a wooded area at night. Now I don't know where exactly they were, but the video starts with them walking through this place in the dark and hearing very weird animal sounds from a distance. And the sounds just weren't of an animal you'd heard before, they were screeches almost, or like something was choking. It honestly sounded like a possessed animal, in complete honesty, I'm not gonna lie. When the boys finally get near to where the sound is coming from, the thing changes its sound and it becomes more of a hiss at the boys, but not a cat hiss, like a human hiss. The guys make a run for it but turn back to see the creature coming after them. Now the thing itself is a very scrawny, pale, human looking thing if anything, and I want to say it was a human. It was bipedal and had 2 arms and was coming after them trying to get them with its arms, but it just wasn't really moving like a human. Maybe it was a very disturbed or deranged person living in the middle of the woods in a cave, I have no idea, but I would piss myself if I ran into that in a dark alley. Or a light alley for that matter, it really doesn't matter.